MS is a long-term illness that affects a certain amount of people, but a lot of people haven't heard about MS, or their knowledge of MS is quite limited. My question for you, Dom, is why did you choose to talk about your experience online?
So I started my channel about 15 months ago, and I was actually having a conversation with a neuro that I knew one weekend, and he was going, Dom, he said, you got to start a YouTube channel, you do this. And his whole view was men are underrepresented because it's one of the few things in life where there tends to be more women than men. So it tends to be about 2/3 women to men. Trying to get men on the channel is harder work than getting females on the channel. But I've really just sort of been finding my way. I want to interview an expert, but I only want to interview an expert if they can tell something for our masters. There's no point having a technical discussion. I don't know about you, because you've got a YouTube channel as well, haven't you?
I do, yeah, and I only set it up last year. So I had actually set it up just before I had gotten my diagnosis. It's always something I wanted to do, but I never knew what kind of area I wanted to focus on. And then I was also really afraid to post stuff to the internet, but then once I went through those attacks, and I was having attacks very close to each other, I was just like, you know what, life is way too short. So I just bit the bullet, I went for it. I talk about MS on my YouTube account and a little bit on Instagram and TikTok, but not as much. I love talking about it on YouTube. Twitter, do you get much feedback from Twitter?
Twitter's nice to me because it's more two-way, and there's a great MS community on there. So there are leading doctors, and they will engage, and you're not going to say, doctor, my left foot itches, because they're never going to deal with that, but you will see them and their thoughts. And I had a Twitter account since '08 and never used it, and then just sort of fired it up a couple of years ago. And MS Twitter, I would say, is where the best quality information is, because it's public. God. If somebody's talking rubbish, it will be not slapped down in a nasty way, but it's just like, well, you might like to look at this and this, and and is there evidence to back that up? And which is a nice way of saying, I don't think it smells right.
I think there's a good community on YouTube, but now that you've talked about Twitter, I think I'm going to have to start posting on that too, because I've met so many people with MS from my YouTube channel.
Yeah,
and
likewise.
And for like people even in America and Canada, and I'm just like, it's amazing, and people feel so comfortable sharing their stories, and you really feel like you have that support from people you've never even met, because whatever you're saying, they fully know what that feels like.
If you're interested in finding out more about MS, why not subscribe for more of our videos?